Well, just before the New Year's Eve fires struck New South Wales and Victoria, the news focus, if you remember, was very much on Australia's crippling drought. We were covering all the pain, the modest government relief and the generosity almost every single night here. And then the worst of the fires struck. And since then, many farmers who are still facing debts, still facing disaster, are quietly, respectfully asking what happened to the drought. They include landholders in the drought-stricken Southern Downs region of Queensland who this week ran out of water. And in the midst of this crisis, as I reported here on December 30, they are furious over the permission granted by the Queensland government and their local council to a Chinese-owned company to mine nearly 100 million litres of groundwater a year. It's about as dumb and cruel as you could get in the middle of a drought. Joining me again earlier today via Skype was farmer Ben Usher. Ben Usher, thank you very much for your time.
No worries, Chris.
So you're officially out of water, you and everyone else in the district. What now?
Yeah, Stanthorpe's run out and they're carting water there now, and I suppose we just cross our fingers and hope for some rain.
And meanwhile, we've got this massive contradiction in your part of the world where you've got this Chinese-owned company who have been given permission by both the local council and the Queensland government to mine for up to nearly 100 million litres of local groundwater a year. It just doesn't make sense.
It doesn't add up, does it? And since the last time I spoke to you on the 30th of December, the story council are putting forward all the time is that, well, we couldn't do anything about it. Well, that's not quite true. Here I've even got a copy of their Planning Act from 2016. I'll just read a little piece there. It says, all decisions on approval or otherwise of development applications are required to be based on planning issues and the results the proposed development produces for the Southern Downs region area and its inhabitants, and are not related to state government's rights and responsibilities.
So they had every reason to vote against this structural construction on that site, which is there to mine for water, on the basis that water was going to be taken from the local area.
Absolutely. There's no benefit to the Southern Downs region. In their own application, they've said there may be one person employed. So there's no real benefit to the region. The water is going away from here. Now, I've heard talk it's to go off overseas, but I'm not sure on that. But there's no benefit to the area at all. Of course, the council sort of knocks it back. They like to pass the bar that it's all the state government's problem.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that there haven't been faults of the state government in the past with this whole issue. But like I originally said, the approval of the initial application for the licence even is in question, really. And we've never been able to find out any truthful information on it.
Yeah, you know, I spoke to you, as you rightly say, on the 30th of December when drought was a headline issue and we were covering it just about every night on this program. But it's gone off and out of the headlines because all of a sudden we've got bushfires to concentrate on. $2 billion dedicated to bushfire relief and recovery and rebuilding. And yet people like yourself and so many other farmers around Australia are still doing it so tough and struggling in the middle of one of the worst droughts we've had.
I know, Chris. I sort of can't believe it. And you know, people need to know the drought is still going. It's still going as strong as it was a couple of weeks ago. I'm really sympathetic for all the people affected by the bushfires. We've had fires here ourselves, but there's not as many of us here, so you don't hear about it on the news. People are really struggling with the way that the drought's not been acknowledged as part of this bushfire crisis. Realistically, these bushfires wouldn't have been as catastrophic if we weren't in the middle of one of the worst droughts in Australia's history.
This is worth talking about tonight because I know our federal and state governments are focused on bushfire, but let's not forget the drought, right?
Oh, exactly right. Exactly, because losing your place to a fire, it's terrible. And I feel for those people what they're going through. don't think there's not blokes in the bush that aren't walking away from their places with not a cent in their pocket too, and everything's gone.
Yeah, maybe
and
even with debts to their name as well.
That's right, Chris. So they're walking away and they're still going to pay it off. And things are tough in the bush, really tough at the moment. And I don't know. We really need like Scott Morrison to stand up and be a leader. That's what we're really needing. It's not just the fires, not just the drought. It's everything.
Yep.
And I have a lot of respect for Scott.
And don't forget the drought. That's the message from you and for those in your area. Hopefully a little bit of rain coming your way, Ben.
Hopefully.